Hello, everybody. This is the most entertaining, I guess, session of the day on the Luxembourg stand, and the most interesting one. Thank you for being here. So, with us today, what we're going to discuss, because I have no clue, it depends on you. What I want to discuss is Catapult Southeast Asia. I want to discuss your work at ADB. So, we have with us Lisette. She's the head of innovation and FinTech at ADB. And we have with us Daniel, who is the head of the ADB Ventures. So let's start with ADB FinTech side. And
Sure.
What are your activities? What are you looking for? And then we move to the VC side.
Sure. So, Lisette from Asian Development Bank, and what I do is really I look at how I can leverage technology for finance sector development. And essentially, we do initiatives around digital transformation, looking at digital public infrastructures, looking at how we can develop trust into the system. So that can be, we know and we experience it personally that, scam and fraud is through the roof. And this is an area of work that we are really keen in doing. Also, we are looking at how we can ensure that there's technology pipeline across Asia and the Pacific, really looking at how we can address that problem because there is a shortage, a technology skills shortage in the finance sector. We understand that by 2030 there will be about 4 million shortage in this space. So this is an important area of
Shortage
our work.
in
Shortage
people.
of technology
Okay.
talent.
Talent,
In the technology space, especially for the finance sector. Really, when I say that we look at technology and how we can use this for finance sector development, for example, we look at how we can work with fintechs in terms of developing products and solutions that solve development problems. Case in point, digital ID. So in one pilot that we did in Papua New Guinea, where 80% of the population don't have a form of ID, we worked with a startup organization or company from Finland, and we looked at their solution, created a bespoke solution that could work within the local context of Papua New Guinea, ensuring that this was a solution that could work online and offline and be able to issue an ID right on the spot where the people were in the rural areas. And a lot of there's a lot of solutions out there that could actually inclusive solutions that could actually be utilized for a lot of our development work. And so I think, the Singapore FinTech Festival, this event is really amazing because it really opens up your mind into the possibilities and where we can plug in technology into development work. We work obviously with Luxembourg House of FinTech, looking at how we can harness the talent and innovation coming out from Asia and the Pacific, and really looking at how we can support them, mentoring them, and really making sure that they have inclusivity and human-centric design in their products and solutions so that, they can also help deliver impact into the markets where we operate. I'll stop there.
No, it's perfect. I will come back to you regarding the companies and the solution we are looking for. ADB Venture, we met this year. Real pleasure to see you on our booth. Tell us a little bit about the VC fund, because I didn't even knew you guys have a VC fund.
No, not many people know that ADB Ventures exist for two reasons. One, ADB is traditional financer. I mean, ADB generally focus on lending to governments or big infrastructure projects. Few people think of ADB as lending to or financing startups, but that's what ADB Ventures do. And the other reason is we're only 5-6 years old. So ADB Ventures was set up around 2020. We invest, as I mentioned, in tech startups that can have a huge impact in developing Asia. That's our mission. We invested around 65 startups so far. We have around 110 million under management. So we're still early days. FinTech is obviously a core to what we do. Not just are we investing into FinTech companies, but I would say almost all our startups has embedded FinTech in some shape or form in their business model. So it's really core of what we do. What we're hoping to do more now, I mean, it's amazing all these technologies in this hall, but a lot of it still is missing what we think is the biggest market opportunity in Asia. A lot of fintech out there, it is incredible what's happening. But at the same time, we see a number of challenges. One is, I think, most fintech companies design for themselves, but usually they don't come from the segments that we would call inclusive fintech. We don't have the users designing for themselves if we're looking at farmers, SMEs, so on. That's one. The other one is, we talked about a little bit around trust. Trust beats tech anytime, right? There's endless of technologies, but it's not endless of trust. At some point, we need to think about how we flip that around, or how we can use technology to create trust. And the third thing when we think about it is that if you design a product for the average customer in Asia, you will miss 70-80% of the market in terms of users. And I still feel that there's a huge opportunity for all the fintech companies here and investors to really look at that, we call it long tail, the 70-80% of users are not being served properly at the moment.
So let's say with your funding side, what are the companies you are looking for? What are the ticket size you are looking for? The maturity of the companies you are looking for?
So we want to go in early where we can have significant impact. So we invest from around $200,000. We have my colleague there, Pang, who's managing our seed program, up to $2-3 million. So that's our range, $200,000 to $2-3 million. Early stage, usually they have a product, but they're far from profitable. So we're willing to go, way ahead of profitability and really come in and help where we think companies need more our help most as ADB.
And you and Pang, you are looking at what exactly when the criteria of selection before funding them?
We're looking, I think the number one by far is the team. We looked into exceptional, resilient entrepreneurs, and we have a couple of entrepreneurs here, I can see. Because that is still by far the biggest challenge, to find entrepreneurs who can take these amazing solutions to market, or resilient, who knows how to network. That's the shortage in our view. So we always start with there. And then, of course, we're looking, is there a demand? Is there a big market? I think these days we're less worried about the product because it feels there's so much technology out there. But finding a real use case and most importantly, a real entrepreneur, that's our main sort of like...
And the trust.
The trust.
And the trust.
We cannot,
I'm gonna quote you.
Yeah.
So trust beats
that's from
technology
ChatGPT, by the way. That's from
anytime.
ChatGPT, but yeah.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Thank you, Daniel. Lisette, what are the kind of companies you are looking at ADB to integrate in your processes and to connect with your members?
Right. Okay. So we know the development challenge in the finance sector. There's still about 1 billion people who are financially excluded. There, and unbanked. There are, there's about 1.7 trillion US dollar SME financing gap. There's a lot of, challenges around gender inclusion, sustainable finance as well. So in terms of solutions, we're always looking at how we can deliver products that speaks to the customer in the local context and can solve the problems that I just mentioned earlier. It's a massive, especially around MSME access to finance. That's a massive problem because we know that banks have a tendency to stay away from small, micro and small enterprises because they're hard work. They cost a lot of money to acquire, to service, etc. So, these are the types of solutions that we're looking at. And we're also looking at, solutions that can also help drive literacy, right? Because digital financial literacy is an important piece to financial health. We're not just talking about financial access, where we provide a wallet or a mobile or a bank account to an individual, but the real success that we want to see is for the person to be able to save, to be able to access credit, to be able to have insurance so that this person can have protection. So simple as that. And I think somebody here is also going to speak a little bit about their solution who has
Yes,
gone
briefly.
through your program.
Yes.
But so these are the types of solution that we're looking at. That's really really related to inclusive finance. Obviously, there's other areas of my work that brings me to the digital asset side of finance sector, but that's another topic as well. But yeah, that's essentially what I look for when it comes to inclusive solutions.
Thank you. One of the reasons we are here is because we have this awesome program together. So Catapult Southeast Asia, it's a program sponsored by the government of Luxembourg, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We run for 2 years now, and we have opening officially the third edition for next year. So you just have to scan the QR code and apply. Awesome program. Thank you so much for your support in that program. So we've done it in Manila this year. We had 10 amazing companies. We always have a winner, and we are lucky today because we have the winner of this year edition with us, and we have one of the alumni of last year edition with us. So before giving you the mic, the winner, I'm going to ask Christian maybe to come, say a few words regarding the program. Yeah, you didn't expect that. I know. I'm full of surprise. Maybe you can give a few words of what is the program for you? Did it have any impact? I hope it was positive. The impact for you, what did you learn, and how did you live it as an entrepreneur?
I obviously didn't expect this. Thank you. So I participated in the first edition of Catapult last year. For us, it was actually a good way to re-evaluate our own belief. Because, when we run our own day-to-day business, it's always about what we think we're right. But when we get a sense, a validation from different eyes, perspectives, it was very useful. And I think that was what helped us kind of restructure internally in terms of what we should measure. The topics about, I think back then we learned also about impact on ESG, which is something that we never thought about. And turned out there are many, I would say like, funds out there who are looking for startups who are already prepared and measured in their own way, so that it kind of helped to connect this gap, I would say. And I think lastly, if I could add, it was also a good refreshing period for us to sit together with fellow founders and then share the pain and the joy and the learnings amongst each other, so that once we got back to our own home, we like go full on for the next phase of our own journey. So
and the next phase for you was to sell the company.
Turned out it actually happened.
That's good. Congratulations. So you had an exit after the program, which is surprising, but was a good outcome, I guess.
It happened in the beginning of this year, March 2025. Initially, we were operating only in Indonesia. And in March, we actually got acquired by a Korean institution. So now it's the next phase, actually, in terms of not only in the local market, but also regionally, including the Philippines. So eventually we will also try to be better in our own governance, and then hoping to get the bigger market.
Because Christian mentioned it, we have 3 focuses. Impact, so we want to make sure that your business model is not just generating cash, but it also has a positive impact on the local population. Second pillar is scalability. We want you to scale, not do good just in your country, but across the region. And the third one is this guy, get funding. And we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. So thank you. Congratulations again about your exit. And now let's invite the winner of this year, Catapult. Yes. Introduce yourself, what you're doing.
All right. Hi, my name.
How you live the experience.
All right. So my name is Aiza. I'm from MadCash, and what we do is we are a fintech that works with women entrepreneurs, and we help them grow from the very small, and hopefully they can become bankable and unstoppable. Right. So this is what we do. So I thought it was a great experience in the Catapult, because I had a mentor that actually taught me what my business is, because he say I'm doing so many things. Because when we do impact, we do so many things. We do this, we educate, we help. And then he's saying that when you talk to investors, they are only interested in how you run the business and how you can grow it. So it was such an amazing, eye-opening experience. So I learned what my business actually is, and now I can talk the same language to investors. So that was a good one.
And you're raising money?
Yes, we're raising money.
How much?
The next 3 million.
3 million.
Yes. So we're raising two types of money. One is for the company, and the other one is to have more funds under management so that we can give out. That one we're looking at 10 million. So it's two different rows. So thank you so much, Catapult.
So a few last words. Yes, Danny, it's for you.
Okay.
Can we say what we want to do? You think so?
We can.
It's still confidential, so it has to stay between us, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't leave this room, guys. But we are building something very cool with ADB. We are setting up. Yeah, say it. I cannot. My government is here, so you can say it. So what are we looking to do together?
What can we say? I mean, it's going to be special. We're setting up a joint program, a joint fund, to support and fund the next generation of unstoppable fintech, inclusive fintech entrepreneurs.
So apply, because some of the companies that will go through the program will get funding from ADB Ventures, and you're gonna get the full support both from Luxembourg but also ADB and all our partners behind the program. So thank you very much. The only call to action is really apply and talk to this guy because he has money to spend. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Excellent.